Hi guys, welcome back to my XPS guide. Now I'm gonna review Olivera intrinsic ability. I must say he was kinda underwhelming and become more powerful after the release of Dazzling Demons card. And now with his intrinsic ability, he becomes quite powerful. Let's take a look at Pick Crescendo. This ability increases your static magic by 1000, which is good, but maybe not that big deal because other characters get like 2000 boost in their DPS stats value. With 1000 magic, you can reach 7000 magic quite easily, but nothing special because I can say it's the norm right now. You don't need to care that much though, especially on non-class of will content, because his strongest form is the Brave Shift. He gets 3000 MP, which is super powerful for his Brave Shift limit burst. It is the same as getting 5250 on your DPS stats because it has 1.75 scaling from his limit burst. You can see my build on the screen. Even without Dazzling Demons, I can reach like 13,500 MP. This ability also gives you 150% killers against beast, human, insect, and plant, something which he didn't have in the past. And as a take chainer, he gets 200% faster chain. Pretty solid intrinsic ability. I give it 10 out of 10 in terms of intrinsic ability. Is he still relevant today? Let's take a look at his abilities. I will say that his normal form is kinda underwhelming. First is because the moves are made for class of will with morale scaling. It is good in class of will, but on non-class of will, you want to ignore it. The most damaging thing he has is limit burst. Okay, and it is Quadcast Dark Chaos Wave Awaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I can remember, only Darfina Warriors player who are relevant for those things. In this form, all his abilities scales with his magic stats, so nothing so special because he only get 1000 magic boost, and yeah, 7000. It's the normie. I can even say that the normies right now is 8000. Okay, but yeah, only use limit burst to extend your buffs if you need them on non-class of will content. As for the Brave Shift form, he uses MP as his DPS power, so make sure you focus on MP stats. You can care less about magic, okay? With 13,000 MP, it is equal to have like 19,000 offensive stats point for his Symphonic Harmony. So yes, the damage modifier may be small, but the offensive stats are like double the most DPS have. So it still deals huge amount of damage. Same for the limit burst. If you see the damage modifier, it is only 87 times dark damage, but the offensive stats is like 22,000 points. Remember to max your limit burst damage and you will deal very high damage. Okay, if you see the FFBE damage calculation mechanic, the offensive point has square or quadrant operation, so 2 points are kind of same as 4 times damage modifier. So in the end, this LB has about 348 times limit burst damage modifier with about 11,000 magic, okay, which is the number you get from top tier attackers on today's meta after buff. So yes, he is as powerful as top tier dark mage. It is also very simple to use him. You only need to use Inspiring Finale to Imperil Dark and Instrument Resistance. And of course, you also get 30% dark damage boost before using your limit burst. After that, on the next turn, simply use your limit burst and you're done. Enough about damage, now let's talk about partner. The first best partner is Darfina Warriors player. The reason is very simple. Dark Fina can chain with Dark Chaos Wave Awaken perfectly, quadcast, okay? And she is also able to boost dark damage by 45%. Olivera only able to buff 30%, so 15% damage increase is better, okay? And Dark Fina also has 300% limit burst damage buff, so of course, Olivera gonna love it. And for all stats buff, it is not that important because, especially for the brushy form, because remember, you cannot buff the MP pool or capacity in the battle. So you can ignore about that. Ignore it, I mean. After that, you want to brainstorm Seeker Esther. So yes, I believe you may tired seeing her, but that's how good she is, okay? Because yes, there are characters who are able to give you dark damage boost, I mean elemental damage boost, but they are niche. But for Esther, she basically able to buff almost all DPS characters because almost all characters rely on the limit burst. Okay, so this is really hard to defeat, okay? And after using Esther limit burst, you can use Rinoa to evoke Diablos to increase 30% Dark Resist Imperil. Yes, they can stack because Rinoa Dark Imperil field effect only happen on the enemy field. Okay, so you can override the limit burst damage boost on the enemy field area. So very nice, okay? And this is really important because, like you know, the highest Dark Imperil at this point is only 145%. And yes, that's come from Akstar the Return. And yes, he also has 87% Spirit Break. So yes, it is really good combination, unless of course you want to use 90% Spirit Breaker. But yeah, Akstar the Return has above average break, so I'm okay with that. So that's all about partner. My conclusion for Olivera: he is one of the best dark mage you can use at this point. He is also an AoE magic chainer, so as long as the enemies don't resist dark, you can use him as a chainer for your finisher, okay? Very decent. And he is also useful on both Clash of Will and non-Clash of Will content, okay? Great on Clash of Will because he can feel lots of morale gauge every turn. 1500 every turn, okay, automatically. Very amazing. And on Clash of Will, when you have maximum morale, then his normal form gonna deal tons of damage, the limit burst. Okay, and for non-Clash of Will content, like I have mentioned before, you want to use the Brashy for limit burst. It is top tier dark magic damage. It is self-chain, and yes, it is very useful on content like Dark Vision because you can increase the hit counts easily. Okay, you don't need to pair him with certain character to increase your hit count because it is self-tech chain. And the Trust Master reward is also pretty good for magic chainer because it fastens your chain. And 30% magic and 50% limit burst are always good for magical DPS. The STMR is also really good weapon if your mage can equip an instrument. I know it is not a common weapon, but 3 killers in one weapon is amazing. Maybe the only bad thing is the fusion card. This is the only good for, this is only good for MP based DPS, and that means himself. If there are other MP scaling characters in the future, I believe they are gonna have better fusion card. So yeah, the fusion card is kind of useless. So in the end, I give him like 9 out of 10. Really solid characters to use in all type of contents. Okay, thanks for watching and see you on the next video, guys.